One news story, 2.5 minutes, on the shooting of Tom Phillips. Of course, this came through most of today. There was stories this morning about a shooting. It became pretty clear before they even announced it what it could likely be. I'm not sure if it's in this story, probably not, but there is news out at the moment. They have now found the last 2 kids. So all the kids are together, all the kids are safe, none of them are harmed, and they're okay. They're not starving, they're doing all right. Seems like in this though, Chewie, and some people may disagree with this, but I'm going off what some family, some police, and perhaps even the mother of the kids are saying, is that there doesn't seem to be any winners in this overall situation. Let's have a look.
A former police investigator says there are no winners from today, saying if police were to move any sooner, it's highly likely it could have been worse. Corazon Miller has more.
Tom Phillips dead and an officer critically injured is not the conclusion anyone wanted.
This has been a deeply traumatic incident this morning for those involved.
It's sad for the family, it's sad for the wider family, it's sad for police. There's no winners in this. It was a terrible tragedy.
Fears of it ending in a violent shootout like this is why the former cop and crisis negotiator supposes the Phillips family wasn't rounded up sooner.
Yeah, well, this has always been the worry of police. If they were
That's interesting, eh? Because if what they're saying is we expected a shootout if we went in, then they didn't want to go in because they didn't want to shoot out because there was 3 kids there. Perhaps that's what they're getting at. By the way, I'm not selling the narrative of the police. I don't know, but that's what it sounds like in this story. That's what they're saying.
to move any sooner, it's highly likely that perhaps it could have been worse. They just don't know. It's when somebody's armed and they are so unpredictable that things can unfold in the way that you don't want them to.
Specialist teams had been working on this case for multiple years, but it was a local constable who was first on the scene alone.
He knew that he had support coming, and when you're travelling these roads at night, I can tell you they are completely dark. What he came across this morning in the early hours would have been completely unexpected.
The officer confronted with gunfire struck several times, including a shot to the head.
I can tell you that he sustained significant injuries that will require many surgeries. They are described to us as being survivable.
Exactly how he was injured and Tom Phillips killed is now the subject of an independent police authority investigation.
Police understandably concerned for one of their own, Corazon. What's the latest with the police officer who was shot?
Yes, well, police this evening will undoubtedly still be very concerned about the well-being of their colleague. He was a constable that was working alone overnight, as is common in these rural communities, when he was shot multiple times before he managed to take shelter. He was critically injured and was airlifted to Waikato Hospital just behind me here. He underwent surgery this morning, and it's understood he underwent a second surgery this afternoon for injuries to his eye. Police are reluctant to divulge further details around the exact extent and nature of his injuries, but say he is expected to survive. We know his family have surrounded him, and New Zealand police are giving him and his family the support that's needed ahead of what's expected to be a lengthy recovery here in hospital.
Thank you for that update, Corazon.
All right, so just to follow that up as well, here's an update because they didn't know at that point. Tom Phillips fatally shot by police. Children found uninjured at campsite. This was at 7:30 tonight. Information came to police. I'm just going to read the phone about the children. Do you want to pick? Why don't you pick up on what we've just watched, Chewie, while I find the thing about the children?
Yeah, so the timeline of this seems to be that they tried to do a ram raid on a farm supply building early this morning, set off an alarm. A local officer responded, saw him. Road spikes were deployed against his quad bike. He had his eldest child with him. And then things get a little bit muddy there. But he's opened fire on police. And I have one issue that I've seen with this story reporting on one particular media outlet. I'm going to single out Stuff here. Mm-hmm. Pat, if I said that the police car was riddled with bullets, how many bullets in the closest 10 would you say? How many bullets would it take for you to riddle a police vehicle?
5 would be too few. Probably starting around the 8 to 10, maybe more like if I think riddled, what I think is kind of Bugsy Malone 40 holes. That's what I think. But if I'm thinking genuinely about it, maybe 10 minimum.
So
maybe
let's
15?
say like a car riddled with bullets, if you're in Gaza, would be over 300.
Yeah, sure.
In America, it might be about 40.
Yep.
In New Zealand, riddled, I would say 15
20.
to 20.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. Okay. 4.
Right. Yeah, it's not
4
riddled.
rounds into the car. I think it was stuff being just sensationalist for the sake of just like choose better, but just give me the facts. There were 4 holes in the car's windscreen. The officer's been shot multiple times. Like there's clearly been an exchange of fire, and I think it's worth highlighting as well. Rural cops on their own, that takes a lot of stones. But this guy has chosen, when road spiked and confronted by a single officer with his child, that the best option here is to open fire.
Because that's the other thing, right?
This guy's gone, my eldest is here and my 2 younger children are at the campsite and I'm going to win this gunfight and go back to them? Worst case scenario.
Let me ask one question, right? And this is not to you or anyone, but this is more to the police. Surely, if you're a rural officer in that part of the world, you should be out doing overnight just at this current climate. If the police are saying they knew that this person was armed, they knew that this person was hiding, and then this event happened in the middle of the night, raiding somewhere, they didn't know it was him. But having one police officer, I would just think like if there was a mass murderer, not him, out in a certain small town, you wouldn't leave a police officer by themselves. Is there anything to be asked here of the police as to why was this guy wandering by himself? If it's the area that this guy was known to be in, maybe they should have had more police on. Maybe overnights they should have had teams on. I don't know. I'm just saying it seems that very dangerous man, who they knew was dangerous enough not to confront too early or around the kids. That's what we're hearing. But if something was going to happen, one officer was going to be enough to, interact with them in the middle of the night. I'm not saying they knew in this middle of the night, but if something was going to happen at some time, I'm just wondering if there was ever a chance to have multiples on.
I have other gripes with the breathless reporting of this. I get it. It's a sensational story. It's the biggest story today. But I think the trope language or the cliched language that the media used, the police officer was shot with a high-powered rifle. What the fuck does that even mean? The guy had a hunting rifle. All hunting rifles are apparently high-powered rifles. So why mention it at all? It's not like he shot the cop with an anti-aircraft gun. It is interesting to hear though, like versus a shotgun, because a shot to the face with a high-powered rifle, with a hunting rifle, could be far more serious than buckshot. I'm not trying to. It's just if you know guns, it's a nothing descriptor. If you don't know guns, it also means nothing to you. It just don't use these crutch words, media. It's not helpful in the case of this.
So here's an update from this afternoon. In an update this evening, Rogers said the remaining 2 children were found safe and well at a campsite near the Tianga and Waipuna Road intersection. Officers located the children at the campsite after receiving information from the child found earlier today. Well, that's good. She said the children would undergo medical examinations. Police will work very closely with our partners at Oranga Tamariki to ensure that they receive all of the support that they require at this very difficult time. In a statement, Rogers said it was the start of a very long journey of recovery for the children. Police confirmed the mother of the missing children had been notified. Man, because basically these kids are going to probably have to be deprogrammed. It's going to be hellish. This is not the end of the story.
Like people coming out of a cult.
Yeah.
These kids have been up there with Tom Phillips and each other essentially alone for 4 years. And look, I want to acknowledge as well, like this dude went on the run because he was dealing with the family court, and apparently his sole point of concern was that he was going to lose his kids. Is this whole thing not an illustration of why he was going to lose his kids? This was his reaction Not
And now
show,
he's-
not show that you're a good and caring father that had the best interests of the kid at heart. You stole those kids, bro.
Yeah. And now,
And your reaction to getting caught was to open fire. Like, no, like the people in this area have been supporting him. That's been very clear. And I think there's look, you look online in the comment section around the story, there's a lot of people online that are going, he's just being a good dad to his kids. Bullshit. Bullshit. There's plenty of good dads that have to go through the family court proceedings and stick around and do the fucking hard work to improve themselves or prove that they are the best person for their kids. This guy just noped out.
yeah.
There's
And
no justification for it.
Well, and like you say, Chewie, if this is the mentality of the man, maybe there was good reason that he would lose access to his kids. But one of the things for the kids, who are kind of the innocents in this, is this interaction. He didn't lose his kids, but his kids have lost him. So that's not a particularly good outcome necessarily for them either.
It's selfishness. At every step of the way that we know about, at least, it comes off as selfishness. And there have been people that are supporting him and supporting him online now and saying that he's just a good Kiwi bloke or whatever. What sort of toxic blokeism is that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if you don't like the police or the government. This was not the way to deal with anything where kids are involved.